I think this is the biggest project of my entire houseplant career, and I'm so excited to be working on it. Hello friends, and welcome to this repot and chat video. I have several plants here at the minute. I mean, they're all begonias. I've got several begonias here at the minute that I have been propagating that I need to pot up. Like, I posted about this the other day on Instagram. My Sophie Cecile, look at her roots. They are literally insane. So like desperately ready for a repot. Basically, I've had loads that I've been water propagating and it's time to pot them up. And I figured I would chat a little bit while I do so. Tell you what's been going on, what's on my mind lately, and like a big portion of this will probably be talking as well about my show garden at Malvern this year, because that's basically like the main thing that's on my mind. So we can talk through that. I'll talk about what I'm gonna do, etc. And yeah. So before I get into it, I want to say if you're new here and you don't know me already, hi, my name is Emma and I make houseplanty content all over the internet. So if you want to follow along with my houseplanty journey and maybe learn something along the way, stick around, watch some more of my videos, and subscribe to my channel. If you are not new here, welcome back. I really appreciate you returning. Now let us get into the repot. Get these begonias potted up. All of them are gonna go in semihydro because that is just like my go-to for begonias. It is basically the only way that I have found that they are at all successful to me. And so it's gonna be a very semihydro heavy repot today, which I think is fun. I really like a good semihydro repot. It's a bit cleaner as well, which makes things easier. I'm gonna begin with the Sinbad I've got here, which isn't actually a propagation. I just think it is desperately in need of a repot because look at these roots. Are they not just insane? It has just like outgrown this so quickly, so I think I'm going to put it into something a little bit bigger. A lot of it bigger. I'm gonna put this one in here because this one is one that like spreads out quite a lot, and I think it'll be a fairly quick session. Oh my goodness. Can you tell I've not filmed a video in a week because I've just been so busy. I feel like I'm out of practice entirely. So we're gonna put the Sinbad into this, and while we do, we're gonna chat. I guess first off, the reason why I haven't filmed a video in over a week, not that I haven't posted one, I've posted videos this whole time. I try and be really good in like pre-film if I know I'm gonna be away, but this past week I was doing a plant doctor thing for a company who was giving out free plants to residents of the building and like employees of these buildings, and I was helping people select the plants that they wanted, which would work best for them in their home or their office, and it was really fun. It was a good time, and I love seeing people get plants, and it makes me really happy to like help people on their like plant journey. So that was fun, but I spent 3 days doing that last week, and like I was pooped. I would come home kind of like mid-afternoon, and like in theory I could have filmed because it was a lovely week, gorgeous weather, but like I just got home and I was just like, gonna die now, falling asleep. And when I wasn't doing that, I was basically thinking about Malvern, or my show garden, I guess it's called there. Oh my god, Emma, did I just break that? Okay, no, I just broke a leaf off. Excuse me, this is gonna be a pain. How do I get this out? Maybe, no, I'm just gonna pull it and hope that it works. Okay, well I just like did some root pruning on that, which is probably not ideal, but probably also absolutely fine. It doesn't particularly matter. But we're gonna pop you in there like that. Should be good. Maybe I'll put it a little bit higher. And I should probably take cuttings from this one as well. Oh my gosh, stop breaking off leaves, Emma. I'm really annoyed. If this one's just extremely fragile, and I would appreciate it if it would stop. But basically, I am the kind of person that when I have something that I really, really care about, which this is something I really care about, it becomes my entire personality. It's like all I can think about for the amount of time until it's passed. So like this happened when I was planning my wedding. This happened when I was like training to run my triathlon. Like I become absolutely obsessed with whatever I'm working on. And what I am currently working on is for the RHS Malvern Spring Festival, where I'm gonna abbreviate it to Malvern because that's what I call it. But it's basically similar to Chelsea, which is the Chelsea Flower Show. It's kind of like the most famous planty event. Maybe not the most famous. It's one of the biggest planty events in the world. People like travel to London to go to the Chelsea Flower Show. And Malvern is also put on by the RHS. It is sort of similar thing, but in my opinion, having been to both, better, especially for houseplants. So like Chelsea, they have like the tiniest houseplant section that they have, like I think maybe 8 or 10 houseplant studios, or at least they have in the past. And they're like little mini show gardens, which is awesome. But they don't have a big houseplant selling section, which at Malvern they do. They have houseplant, like a whole houseplant run section. They started it for the first time last year, and it was like run by Green Rooms Market, who are actually doing it again this year, which is super exciting. And I have a whole video on my experience at Malvern last year. It was so much fun. I had a blast, and there were so many gorgeous plants. I actually got this begonia at it, this beautiful silver one, and it was great to see people and like hang out and meet some of y'all and just like have a good time. I did a couple talks. But this year, for the first time, they are doing indoor show gardens. I think, or they're called indoor plant gardens. I don't know what the official name has become, but basically it's a show garden, but using indoor plants instead of outdoor plants, because they have the sort of typical outdoor show gardens similar to Chelsea, and they've been doing those for years and years and years. Green Rooms has really pushed this year to provide indoor show gardens for the first time at this festival, which is going to be so fun. And a bunch of people applied to them, and only 8 people got selected, or 8 groups of people got selected to do their gardens, and I was one of them, and I feel extremely like privileged to have this opportunity. And I am so beyond excited to do my show garden, and it has literally been consuming all of my thoughts constantly. I'm constantly thinking about how I can improve the garden and like make it the best it can possibly be, and like really do well, because it's judged. I could get a medal for doing this, which would be awesome. I mean, and it's fun because I'm not competing against anybody else for the medals. It's like you're competing against yourself, which I really like. So it just feels like the perfect opportunity, and I'm so excited to do it. So I guess I could tell you a little bit more about my idea now. So my garden is called Nice Day for a Green Wedding, and it's kind of inspired by my wedding that I had last year. I got married last year, if you didn't know. Yeah! And I don't want to be that person who like obsesses about their wedding day once it's passed. But basically, when I was doing planning, I found out that like the average wedding, at least I think in the UK, I don't know if this was in the UK or the US, but it was posted in The Guardian. The average wedding, there's about 180 kilograms or nearly 400 pounds of waste from the average wedding, which I found absolutely insane. And like, I massively dislike that number. That is so much waste. And a lot of it is coming from florals and decorations and like menus and stuff like that. And so when I was planning my wedding, I really wanted to try and be as sustainable as possible. And part of that was, instead of doing florals, I did houseplants for my wedding, which I really freaking loved, and it was actually quite an easy process. I had plants from Sprouts of Bristol, and I rented them from them, and so they brought them out, and we set them all up, and like curated a beautiful planty loveliness. And, oh, do I want to stake this up? No, I'm just gonna chop it instead. Because you're getting a bit heavy. I'm gonna chop and prop these little bits of the Sinbad. And I can pop these in to water once I have another water vessel. But I found it was a really great way to still have decorations for my wedding that were still alive and green. I guess it also makes sense with like my personality also being houseplant related to have houseplants, but it just made so much more sense because they were rented. They could go off after the wedding and be picked up by the shop and be re-rented or sold after the event, and so they weren't like a one-time use thing, which flowers can be. Not that I'm saying flowers are bad. If you have flowers at your wedding, it's totally fine. To each their own. I'm not like judging you for doing that, but it just felt like the right thing. I also found it really easy as an option. It was like not a difficult thing to add in to my wedding in the slightest. And I felt like it was a really good option. And so I designed my show garden around the premise that you can use houseplants as a sustainable alternative in wedding and event design and have it still look formal and classy and sleek and beautiful and elevated while still being a sustainable option. Because I feel like, I don't know, when I think about sustainable options, sometimes I think of like the very like boho-y, DIY sort of weddings. And I mean, like, yeah, those are really fine. Not saying you shouldn't do those, or if you're done that, it's a bad thing. But I kind of wanted to show that you can do like a really classy and like very traditional formal thing, but have it be sustainable as well. Do that next. And I want to do, I think, the Sophie Cecile in this one. Because I feel like it feels like the right vibe. So my whole design centers around the fictional eco-conscious, sustainability-conscious couple, the Greens, hence the name Nice Day for a Green Wedding, meaning sustainable, as well as it's like the last name of the couple, as well as it's verdant, like covered in plants and very green. So it's kind of like a triple word play there, which I quite like in my like nerdy brain. But it's this fictional couple, the Greens, who really care about sustainability and wanted to have a sustainable wedding, and so they have decided to rent houseplants as decorations. And so this is their wedding reception, where they've got two large, like round wedding tables, you know, like the classic wedding tables, and they're set with a centerpiece of houseplants in the middle that are all like sort of cascading around, vining about, and even a planted chandelier above with vines hanging down over it to like further the sort of jungle vibes. And at each place, each seated place, like dinner place, there is going to be a little pot with a plant in it that acts as the name card. So the name is going to be printed on the pot, and it'll act as a name card and like wedding favor as well. And it goes with the vibe as like a sustainable wedding favor as well, because I feel like wedding favors are something that like are notorious for something that gets thrown away at the end of the like wedding. Because I don't know, does anyone actually want like, what are wedding favors? Like a Christmas ornament with your anniversary on it? Probably not. I wouldn't want that in my home. So we did wildflower seeds for our wedding, so it could be something that people could plant. But doing a little plant was another option that we were thinking about and didn't end up going with in the end. But I wanted to go with here because I feel like it just like furthers this sort of whole design. I think it just makes sense with it, which I'm really excited about. And then behind those tables, there's going to be a sweetheart table, a table set up for two that's like within a planted arch, and it's got plants along the edge, the front edge, kind of like how ours was at our wedding, like down over the front. just like really framing the happy couple in plants, in foliage, which I love it. It just like gives such verdant vibes. I think it was an absolute vibe at our wedding, and I want to like kind of recreate that here a little bit. There's also going to be like big tall plants and hanging ones along the walls, and I've got these like mirror things that look like windows that are going to go on the wall, so it like makes it look like it's an actual building and stuff. And I just want to make it so this is like as accessible as possible, and like maybe I'll start offering this as a service. If anyone wants houseplant design instead of floral design for their wedding, hit me up. I think maybe I'll start this as a business, another side business, because I don't seem to have enough of them, but like I feel like I would really enjoy this, and I could really help people create the like green wedding vision come to life, possibly. And so I think that could be a really good option. I've just got the Sophie Cecile in my no drainage one, and I've put an indicator in it because it's mandatory at this point in my planting journey. I don't want to have any sort of semi-hydro pots without indicators or like viewing windows or something. The next one, I'm actually going to mix two together, and it's going to be, I think, one of these is the Dawn Miller and one is the Maurice Amy. I will put whichever one's which on the side, but they are siblings. But I thought it would be quite cute if they were together in this pot and like had a little trough pot. It just makes sense in my head, so that's what's gonna happen. But also the plants that I'm going with, they're all like really common houseplants, plants that you could see sort of in almost any plant shop that probably a lot of the people who are going to be going to the show would have in their home or have had or have tried growing. And like I just wanted to make it really accessible like that, to make it feel like anyone could do it almost, because anyone could do it. I could have, for my wedding, taken all of my houseplants, brought them out to Wales, would have been a struggle, and set up my whole wedding with houseplants out there, and done it that way. But I chose to rent them instead, which just like makes way more sense for me. But oh my god, also these roots are insane, and this one has some crazy growth coming in. But I'm getting all of the houseplants from House of Kojo. They're helping me kit it out. I'm renting them from this. I'm renting the plants for this from them, because they're one of my favorite like go-to common houseplant suppliers. They have just like pretty much every houseplant you could think of, that's like common, and I don't want to say like regular or basic, because I don't think any plants are regular or basic, but like the ones that you can find just about anywhere, you can find them at House of Kojo. It's one of my favorite plant shops, in the UK at least, so I'm working with them on that, which is awesome. And also, in addition, I feel like I've thought about this way too much, but also all of the houseplants in the whole thing, each of them symbolizes something, like an aspect that you would want in a successful, long-lasting marriage. Like ferns are a symbol of like love, and oh gosh, I have it written down because I want to remember it fully. Ferns in general are a symbol of love. In Victorian England, they were a symbol of sincerity, whereas in New Zealand, they represent new beginnings, and in Japan, they stand for hope. And so like they have so many different meanings, and so all of these different houseplants that I've picked out are ones that mean something and have like good aspects to them. And actually the plants that are going to be in the little place card pots, the ones that are the wedding favor plants, those are going to be Pilea peperomioides, which are a symbol of friendship, which I feel like makes the most sense because the people who are coming to your wedding are probably your friends, your family, the people you love the most. And it's like it's called the friendship plant in some circles, as well as like the money plant, so like financial success. And so I felt like that was the perfect plant to be the place card plant. So I'm gonna have a bunch of those throughout in the little named pots. I need to figure out what names I want to put on those pots. Pretty much any name feels like a weird thing to put, but maybe I should just go through and like pick the top 20 names or so, and use those. Or I could do my friends and family. I mean, that could be cute. I'll have to think about that, and figure out what they're gonna be, because that is kind of important that they have the names on them. Otherwise it doesn't really make sense as a place card. Alright. Okay, so this one looks a little bit weird right now, but I am hoping in time, once they grow up a little bit and I can chop and prop them a little bit more, I can kind of make like a proper, fully mixed basket of them together, because I think that would look really cool, not just like divided halfway down the middle. Does that make sense? That's my plan down the line. But they definitely need to get a little bit bigger first before I can give them a good chop. And then the last one I've got here is my snow cap guy, which I think I'm just going to, does it need a repot? It does have lots of roots, but these are all going to come off when I pull it out. So those can go in the bin. Probably let this dry out a little bit too much, unfortunately. It's okay. Let's pop you in here. And then I can use this to pour the semihydro out. Okay, I suppose I didn't need to pour all of it out, because I am just gonna, do I want to put this in a bigger thing? Maybe I will. I did bring over a little mason jar to pop stuff in. Yeah, I am just gonna do this. Again, with a little indicator. Da-da-da. Okay. And there we go. Also, to continue on with the sort of sustainability aspect of this whole, like my whole design, I am, like all of the things that I have in the show, pretty much everything in it is, oh, okay, well, I didn't mean to pull that off entirely, whoops. Pretty much everything I have in the entire show is either rented or secondhand, which I think is super duper important. I wanted to show that you can have a sustainable, elegant wedding, and you actually can get it done, because it is possible. And so I have curated one, essentially. So like all the tables and chairs and stuff are rented, and there's a couple things that aren't, like my signage and stuff, but that is made of recyclable materials, and so it can be reused, recycled afterwards, or sold on as well. Anything that I do have to buy, I will sell on secondhand, so it's not like a one-time use sort of thing, if that makes sense. But like I was able to get like flameless candles secondhand, and oh, what else? I'm hoping to get candlestick holders. I'm like going through like charity shops constantly to look for some nice candlestick holders, because I found the flameless candles. Is this even going to be big enough? You know, I put it in with the wick, and I wasn't meant to do that. Like this thing, I didn't need that in there. Oh, silly me. That's better. And even the paint that I'm using to paint the walls, it is from a sustainable paint brand called Zoosh, which makes all of their paints in the UK, and they're low VOC and like cruelty free, etc. And so like I'm really excited to be working with them on that. I'm working with Ivy Line, who's going to provide all of the plant pots for the show, and really I've been able to source so much secondhand or rented, etc. because I feel like that's the best I could possibly do to really make this as sustainable as possible of a show garden. That's the whole premise of the show garden. It'd be weird if I didn't actually make it sustainable and like I ended up just buying loads of single-use stuff for it. I'm going to not do that where at all possible. So yeah, it just feels like it feels like a really exciting thing that's going on in my life. It is a huge deal for me. I'm so incredibly excited to be having this as an opportunity, and potentially, like I said, a jumping off point to maybe do this as a job down the line and like curate some more sustainably decorated weddings. I just feel like that'd be a really fun thing to do. I would enjoy that. If nothing else, I would really like doing that. And so it's a really fun, exciting opportunity that I'm really glad to get. And like, it's just been, my mind has been full of that. Basically just that for the past few weeks, and probably for the next couple weeks, because the show is in what, like 3 weeks, I think. I've got 2 weeks left before I leave for the show. I've got about 2 weeks left before I leave to go like start setting up the show. So like it is approaching fast, and I like, while I feel ready and prepared, I also feel stressed and nervous. But I think that is just because I am so excited about it and really just looking forward to creating something, in my opinion, or in my hopes, that is super spectacular and a really cool design, basically, in my humble opinion. Not to toot my own horn, but I'm proud of myself already for getting this far. But I highly recommend, if you're in the UK, to come out to Malvern. This isn't an ad for them. I don't get paid by them to do this. But I highly recommend you come out to the show. If you didn't see my video of it last year, go check that out, because it's just going to be bigger and better houseplant wise than it was last year, and like way more fun. So come out, come say hi to me, come say hi to the other people who are doing show gardens. I know Claire and Worcester Terrariums are doing one together with Grow Tropicals. I think the Bearded Plantaholic Johnny is doing one. It's just gonna be like a really great thing. You'll be able to meet some of your favorite like plant internet people. Like I said, I really enjoyed meeting some of you last year. If you do see me, come say hi, and we can hang out and whatever for a little bit. We can maybe do a meet and greet, grab a drink or something, because that'll be fun. Also, obviously, you can shop for houseplants and outdoor plants as well. And I think on the Sunday, there's like a sort of big sell-off at the end where like everybody's trying to get rid of all of their like extra plants. I think I'll be selling some plants as well from my show there at like discounted prices, and so you'll be able to get them for cheap on the Sunday. That's a thing that exists. Also on the Friday, Claire and I are doing a talk. I think it's called Houseplant Secrets, What We Wish We Knew or something, and talking about what we wish we knew when we were like sort of just starting with the houseplant hobby and getting into it, and like tips we've had for success within growing houseplants. I think Memo's also giving a talk. Ladybird Plant Care is giving a talk. Loads of people are giving talks. The talk schedule is full and very exciting. I'm actually, like where I am in the building, I'll be able to potentially see the stage from where I'm standing, because I'm manning it. I'm going to be there the entire time. Just because like this is going to be my little like baby creation. And so I'm going to want to be there, and yeah, it's just going to be a really, really cool, really fun. That's not a frost. That's not even right. Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna link tickets down below in the description. If you can go, I highly recommend it. It's gonna be really fun and exciting, and just a grand old time. And like, you can see what I've been putting all of my like brain power into for the past couple months. I've literally been working on this plan since, I think, October, November time. I had to submit my application by December, and I only found out mid-January whether or not I got the spot. So I've been working on this for months now, and it's like, I'm so excited about it, and I'm so looking forward to it coming to life, and hopefully y'all getting to see it. I'll definitely be making some sort of video about it, like in more depth, once it's built, and like maybe the creation and the building of it, potentially. We'll see how stressed I am and how much content I fancy filming while I'm actually setting stuff up. But I'll definitely be doing some sort of making of, showing y'all around. For those of you who can't make it, who can't come out to the UK, totally get it. It is a journey for those of you who aren't in the UK. I mean, it's a journey for me, and I live in the UK. It's not exactly the closest, like most convenient place to get to, but there's lots of space, there's lots of land, there's lots of area, which in my opinion makes it way better than Chelsea, because like you can just breathe there, whereas you can't breathe at Chelsea, in my experience. So, anyways, that's what's happening, that's what's going on in my head, that's what I'm excited about at the minute. That's literally the only thought in this brain right now. Malvern, plan, green wedding, plans, sustainability. That's it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed listening to me rant about my design and how excited I am for it, and plant up these begonias. I'm really excited to see how they do. I need to give them some water after this, make sure they're all nice and hydrated, and yeah. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up down below. Leave a comment on other houseplantey things you'd like me to talk about in the future. If you're excited to see my show, if you're coming to the show, let me know down below in the comments. Hopefully I can see you, I can meet you. And if you're not, I can meet you virtually here. But yeah, anyway, subscribe for more. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Don't forget to keep growing.